welcome to episode 37 of the Arctic Knitting Podcast. My name is Emilie and I am as always coming to you from the Arctic, where it is currently summer, which we really much enjoy. And that's why I haven't been recording for the last couple of weeks, because, well, I have summer, I better enjoy it, it doesn't last forever. So I'm going to start with popping up on the screen where you can find me, and do note the Ravelry group for this podcast, because there is going to be a new knit along starting. And that's the only announcement that I'm going to talk a little bit about this knit along before I'm going to dive right into my finished objects, then my works in progress, then I have a little bit of Arctic Yarns update, and I have an Arctic Living segment today. So, the knit along. I have been talking about this on the podcast earlier, but I am planning on doing a stranded knit along. That is a knit along for any project that uses 2 colors or more in a stranded knitting. That means 2 colors or more in one row. So I have been talking about this knit along on the podcast earlier. I hosted a stranded knit along last year, but I decided I'm going to do it again this year because I love knitting stranded color work, and that's really where I'm at the moment. And I hope that many people will join me. And whether you are an experienced stranded knitter or you are new to this technique, you are more than welcome to join in. I haven't set any limits on projects. You can knit mittens, you can knit hats, coals, socks, yokes, cardigans, koftas, whatever you fancy. You feel free to knit it. There is opened a chatter thread in the group for this podcast over at Ravelry, and in that chatter thread there are a few suggestions you can choose from. You can choose other patterns as well. These are just like a few suggestions if you feel like you want to knit stranded but you are looking for patterns. I have also created a bundle. If you go to my Arctic Knitting at Ravelry, and if you go to my profile, you can click my favorites, you will find that there's a bundle there called the Stranded Knit Along, where you will find patterns that are all eligible for this knit along. I don't have very strict rules. I just want to see all the color work. That's basically where I'm at. There are quite a few hats in that bundle. There are some mittens, some socks, a couple of coals, and lots of koftas and sweaters and yokes. Just because that's where I'm at. That's what I knit at the moment. And I am the one that made that bundle, and everything that I felt inspired me just goes right in there. And honestly, I'm not that inspired by hats at the moment. But that doesn't mean that you have to knit a full-on stranded garment just because that's what I feel like doing. You can knit whatever stranded project you like, and feel free to post about it in the group. Come on over there, let's talk about yarns, let's inspire each other, let's talk about color combination. And I am thinking of making a little tutorial about how I do stranded, how I manage my yarn when I do stranded, about dominant and the other one, colors, and how I manage it when I do more than 2 colors in one row, just because I think that might be helpful. But I won't call it a tutorial. I just want to show you how I do it, and I will talk a little bit about it as well. But I won't call it a tutorial because that feels like pressure. But let me know if you would be interested in that, and I will definitely try to make a whole separate video about stranded knitting and how I do it. Maybe how I choose colors. Maybe this is just going to be a little serious about stranded knit. Let me know what you think. So, are we going to dive right into finished objects? Because if you have been watching this podcast for a while, you can see stitch marker. This is my first finished object. This is my Setesdal Kofta. It is a Norwegian Kofta, and me and Lily of Nordic Stitches podcast, we were hosting a Kofta along together earlier this year. So I have been talking quite a bit about what a Kofta is, but a Kofta is a traditional Norwegian garment. It is traditional, it has sewn in arms, and it is sticked, as this is. And this is one of my projects. It wasn't casted on for that knit long because I casted this on 2 years ago. My grandma bought the yarn for this. So let's start with the yarn. This is the yarn that I've used. This is 100% Norwegian wool. The yarn is quite rustic. It is Finull from Rauma. This is a new tag and this is the old one. So that is the yarn that I used. It is quite itchy. Now that I wear it, you can see I can feel it itch a little bit on my arms, but it hasn't been, bear in mind that this hasn't been washed. Never. This has not been washed, not been blocked. It hasn't even been damped. It hasn't gotten its button yet, so it isn't finished. But I have sewn under the arms and I have finished off all the knitting, and I just need buttons and washing, and I don't block my garments. I wash them and then I lay them flat to dry. And even though this is 100% Norwegian wool and it is really flexible, I wash it in the washing machine. And as I'm going to talk about a little bit later, I don't have a washing machine at the moment, so that's why this has been laying around. And honestly, it is like 25 degrees Celsius outside, so I don't need a kofta. But I'm going to stand up. Let's see. You see the pattern? This is not the traditional colors. Traditionally it is knit in black and white, and it has patterns here and on the sleeves. The yellow is really bright yellow. It's like buttercup yellow, but you can't really see it because of the light, but that's okay. You can still see the garment. Isn't it pretty? This will be my 5th kofta. It is the second one that I have knit myself for me. I have knitted some stranded sweaters, Mari's sweaters among others. Maybe I'm going to wear one of those next week to show you what that looks like. But I have been knitting some sweaters. I have been knitting a kofta for a friend. This is my second kofta for me. The other one is the brown and yellow Fana kofta, which you will have seen if you have been watching this podcast for a while. I also have 2 koftas which I also have shown off, that is knit by my mother-in-law, and I have the most gorgeous kofta ever, which was made by my grandmother, and she didn't use a pattern, and I'm so going to wear that again. I haven't been wearing that for a while on the podcast, but it's the most gorgeous knit ever, I promise you. So as I said, this kofta is sticked, which means that it is knit in the round. So I haven't purled other than in the ribbing. Other than that, it's all knit in the round, and it is cut open in the front. Let's see. You can see the cutting edge. This is the cutting edge. And earlier, when I have been cutting in my knits, I have always sewn down the stick and then cut in the middle. But then Eli of Skeindir said I knew that it was possible, but she did it live, or not live, but she did it in a video, so I saw it. And you can really, this rustic wool, you could just cut it open without sewing. So that's what I did, and I'm going to find a nice ribbon to put over here just to hide this cutting edge. You will definitely see this again, because I will definitely show it off when I have finished off, when it's completely finished, washed, dry, have buttons, have ribbons and everything. So I think that's all I'm going to say for now. If you wonder, this pattern is only available in Norwegian. It is from Rauma. You can find it in this booklet, which is Rauma Rundfelling Voksen 225R. So if you read Norwegian or are Norwegian, this is where that pattern comes from. The other project that I have finished is also a stranded knitting project, and it is a little sweater for Ludvig. So this is where I was last time. It's been 2.5 weeks, and I was I have knitted the arms. This is just 1x1 ribbing. I think the pattern called for 2x2 rib, but I decided to do 1x1 twisted rib just because that's what I felt like at the moment. This is called Ralarganse. It is a pattern by Dale. It flew by. The pattern is available for free, but it's only in Norwegian. And I'm sorry, I don't have time to translate it. But it really isn't that hard if you can figure out how many stitches to cast on. And I don't think how many stitches to cast on and how many stitches to have. Here you could just follow the chart, and I even think it says how many stitches you should have in the beginning of the chart. But it is available for free. It's called Ralargansen. This is the child's version, but there is also an adult version, which has a little bit more, because in the adult's version the yoke is going to be bigger. There is more patterning in the adult version. So the yarn that I have used for this is from Viking. It is Viking of Norway. The yarn is called Storm Alpaca Fine. It's a new yarn. I don't think every shop has gotten it yet, but it is absolutely amazing. I don't remember the percentage, but it is merino, alpaca and nylon. But this is seriously, this is so soft you can't feel the nylon at all. It is gorgeous. I don't know what numbers the colorways have, but I was a little bit afraid that this would be because it's blue and yellow, and blue and yellow for us Norwegian just seems like Swedish, or as Scandier called it, the IKEA factor. And I was a little bit afraid about this, but it didn't turn out like Swedish at all. And I'm really pleased with how this turned out, and I really love the colors. And this is the same color that I have bought for knitting my boyfriend his kofta, which is one of my plans for the stranded knit along. So that is my, this also, it hasn't been washed, it hasn't been blocked. It is knit on 3.5mm needles, and basically it just flew by. You can see some puckering some places. Let's see if I can show you. You can see the hair, it's on this side. It's not completely even, but that's okay. I think it will be better in washing. And if you are interested, I'm going to show you the inside. Here are my floats. For many people in Norway, or probably around the world as well, and the floats are already inside of a knit garment is just as important as the outside. I don't totally agree with that, but it's really nice to have nice floats anyway. When I knitted my Kofta, which is the other one that is similar to this, it is the yellow and brown kofta that I have been wearing on the podcast several times. I knitted that Christmas 2012 and the beginning of the year. I finished it early January 2013. My grandmother, who were a very active knitter and sewist, she had a stroke that Christmas, and I got home from Germany in the beginning of January, and I just managed to finish up this kofta before she died. And I were by her bedside most of the time, and when I finished that, it was just a couple of days before she passed away, and she couldn't open her eyes and she had lost every ability to speak. But when I told her that, grandmother, my kofta is finished, her arm came up and she felt it down here, and then she turned it around to see the inside and opened one eye. That's the last thing she did. She checked my floats. I'm very happy that I managed to do that so that she wasn't disappointed. Anyway, a little bit of a tangent there, but my grandmother was amazing. And you will know that if you have been watching this podcast before. I love my grandmother. My grandmother was the best person ever, and I miss her every day. So let's move on to works in progress, shall we? One of my works in progress, I'm only going to show you two, because I have mostly been working on one of them, but I have been casting on a new one as well. It lives in this project bag that I have sewn myself. So let's talk about the project bag. Pretty, huh? There's a blue zipper and a sneak peek inside. So I'm going to pop a photo on the screen of what this project looks like, because it is the collegejakke of Strikkelisa, which is not available in any other languages than Norwegian, I think. I will correct myself on the screen if I'm wrong. This yarn that I'm using is Super Ull. It is yarn from Europris, or Trysil-garn, which is Europris is a Norwegian like chain store that is in every city. It's not a yarn store, they have everything. They have food and they have garden furniture and tools. They have everything, yarns. I don't know what the similar stores are called in the UK or in USA, but you get the thing. So this is Super Ull. I don't think this is a yarn that they have all the time. I think this is a yarn that they had just as a campaign, because they do that every now and then. And it's 100% wool. It is 50 gram, 105 meter, and it is I think it's listed as a DK weight. And I could have used my own hand-dyed for this, because I was thinking about using my Norwegian wools. But I decided that I'm going to use some of my stashed wools instead, because I really want to get that stash thing. I want to have a little bit less stash, because I have so much. But this is what I have so far. There's lots of threads here. I have the color. So this is going to be anything, the size that I'm knitting is 2 years old. It's going to be for Ludwig. And I have, this is what I have so far, it's the color. And now, this is how it's going to lay around his neck, I think. Yes. And now that I'm ready to start, because as you saw in the photo that I inserted, it's not sticked, it is but it has different colors. So you have blue, white, or I will have blue for the fronts, blue for the back, and white arms, which means that I will have to do intarsia over the sleeves, or here and in the back. And I have never done that before, so I really need to sit down. And because there are 3 like segments of blue, I will need to have 3 skeins of the blue yarn, and I have that, but one of them is still in the shelf, so I should probably just grab that right away, because it stopped itself when I was going to start there. I wasn't at home when I was ready to start, and I only had brought two skeins, because I didn't realize that I would need 3. But that was 2 weeks old, and I should probably get going with that, because I'm betting that it won't be that hard, because how hard can it be? But I need to sit down and try to figure it out, because intarsia it's not like stranded, because in stranded, when you knit stranded, you do like this and you carry the yarn. When I knit the yellow one here, I carry the purple float behind, like this is the purple yarn. But when you do intarsia, you are wrapping it around each other, so there is no float behind, and it is genius if you are going to do long segments of one color, like white from here to here, because you wouldn't want to have a float over all that. And you can wrap the yarn, of course, but it's really hard to make it look pretty, and you don't want to have all that floats, because that's just not practical. So I'm going to try to do intarsia, and we'll just have to see how that goes. I have one more work in progress, and this is the thing that I have been working on the most. And you can probably guess what this is. I am using my own yarn. It is my Norwegian wools. flea cardigan, or damejakka lufta. Damejakka loppa of Pinneguri, and my battery is flashing and it's so annoying. But this is from Pinneguri. It is an amazing pattern. I have finished the yoke and I have finished the body, and it's going to be a cropped cardigan for me. It's going to stop right above my hips just because I want to wear it with high-waisted jeans or skirts, so I think that's perfect. And I wasn't completely sure about this color, but now that it's knitted up, it is just perfect. I didn't do a swatch. I know many people have done swatches just to see the colors, how they color layout, because there are 6 colors in this garment. But I didn't do it, and I'm so glad that I didn't. Because when I got down to here, and in just this part, I wasn't completely sure. But I had gotten so far that I decided to just keep on knitting for a little while. And the grey body kind of leveled it out a little bit, or made it more perfect. And now I am completely in love with it. The pattern is absolutely gorgeous. I haven't done any shaping. The pattern includes shaping for waist, but I'm not doing that because I forgot to. Let's be honest, I just didn't do that. I wasn't reading the pattern, and I didn't do any shaping. The yarns that I am using are my own hand-dyed yarn in the Norwegian basis that is going to be launched in my shop the 17th of August. Some of the yarns are on Askeladden and the others are on Caprino. So this is Askeladden, Vann fra verdens ende, or Water from the world's end. This is Askeladden, the Troll. This is Caprino. And this colorway is called Solan, which is a name from the Norwegian movie Flåklypa. This one is also Caprino, it's the main color. And the colorway is called Il Tempo Gigante. And now I'm realizing why it won't focus, because it's focusing on this guy. This is one of the colors. This is Askeladden. The color is Soria Moria. Taking it slow. And this one is Caprino. And the color is called Emanuel Desperados, which is also a character from the Norwegian movie Flåklypa. So I'm hoping to have that finished quite soon, because I am planning on casting on two other cardigans for me, one other sweater for Ludvig, one cardigan for my boyfriend, and one more cardigan for me that isn't stranded. And I also want to finish a couple of hats. You see, so many plans. So let's talk a little bit about Arctic yarns. The shop is updated. I have put out a little bit of this yarn, which is multicolored tweed. I can block that sheep. You can see that it has tweeds in multiple colors. I don't think this is a yarn that I will dye again, just because I like to prioritize Norwegian yarns from now on. So I think I will just stick with the ones that I already have. My Fjell, Snø and Skog base, and I don't think this will be a regular base, which really is a shame because it's so much fun. It might be coming back, I don't know, but for now it's just a few skeins that are available in my shop. I have also listed some skeins of Fjell and some skeins of Snø. And I am almost ready to start dyeing again. I did the tiling on the floor in my dye studio last week, and we just need to do the thing between the tiles, and I totally forgot I was going to call the electrician today, because we need to get electricity in that room. I will have to fix that tomorrow. But it is going to be finished quite soon, and I am really looking forward to that. It is going to be amazing to have a dye studio in my own house. Also, I have packed most of the Kickstarter rewards. Some of them are already shipped, the rest are packed. And for a couple of those who pledged on Kickstarter, we'll have to wait just another week before I'm able to send it out, because I need to get my studio finished first, because it turns out I didn't have enough yarn of the colors that they wanted. But you will get it in good time before September, and I will make sure to ship everything out before I launch it in my shop on August 17th, which is the deadline that I have set for myself. So basically I'm in the route. I'm just going to end it here because the battery light is kind of stressing me out. And I will add some photos here at the end of what we have been doing for the last couple of weeks. I think there are going to be a lot of photos or video clips from the Polar Park, which is the Nordic Wildlife Center, so where you can see the Arctic animals. So look forward to that, and I will see you again in a week, hopefully with more finished objects. Bye!